So I'm here today with Fred Glick, the president of Amergent Hospitality. You've had I think a really neat kind of path in terms of the different organizations and companies that you've been a part of. What about your upbringing kind of brought your value system to where it is today and what those values are?
I think it's critical. It's part of your environment growing up. So I was born in Philly. The values that were important back growing up in central Pennsylvania at the time were work hard and play hard. You worked your butt off to get ahead, and that's the way you succeeded. And I was raised by two amazing, loving parents that instilled values that still live with me today. One of the most powerful things on earth is unconditional love. I understand you're flawed and you're gonna make mistakes, and regardless of what happens or what you do, I'm still gonna love you. I take that into the business world.
How did your career path kind of develop, and how did you end up in the restaurant industry?
I went to college, I went to Lehigh, got accepted, way above my batting average, but got in. And I had an organizational behavior course. It was the first course I had junior year that sort of went, oh, this is really cool. But the light bulb went on for kind of leadership. At the time, I graduated in 1986, and the whole area, there was not really a lot of jobs. I'm living by myself in Orlando, Florida, and I became a bartender. And then I sort of followed the letter B from there. I was a bartender, and I used to hang out at a place called Bennigan. And so I became a manager at Bennigan's. And then I worked for some restaurants for about 15 years. I ran a Hooters restaurant franchise. And then I went to barbecue and then beer and now burgers.
In that model, you've got a little bit of, a lot of operating stores, and then you also are a franchisor. Are you involved in both capacities?
I'm currently doing everything. We have a very, very small above store staff to support the franchisees. To me, it's all about communication and being on the same team. We're partners. We're business partners trying to get together. I worked my way into a corporate office, and I found that I was dealing with accountants, lawyers, insurance people, versus being in a store with customers and employees, which is what I got into the business. What I loved about being a bartender. I'll try and go do pub tours and just go thank people for, and then you ask them questions. How's it going? Not all of them are honest, but there's enough of them that are candid that will tell you exactly what's going on. But you got to show up. People are afraid of their boss, and people are afraid of telling other people what to do. And if you can flip it around where the boss is there to support their team, and I'm not here to hurt you, I'm here to help you. I don't have the solutions for everything. So we bought Pizza Rep. I've never sold pizza in my life until a month ago. I don't pretend to be the expert on all things pizza. We have a pizza guy that is an expert, and he's running the brand, and I listen to him. Anybody that sits in an office that thinks they know more than what's happening at the store level or the experts in the field is a mistake. Our job is to teach people what they're supposed to do and what you get the most benefit from doing, and then you gotta hold people accountable to those tasks. And you can have fun with it. And the people that are failing miserably, is it an attitude or aptitude problem? So you gotta diagnose.
I'm a believer, and I think we have been in terms of self-accountability, but a couple months ago, I went through a seminar which was team accountability. It was bring the individual into the team environment, then have the conversations, and all major issues are dealt with as a team, as opposed to a one-on-one.
I love the team thing. We're going to get better as a team because we're all going to share each other's ideas. So just because you're in charge of marketing doesn't mean I don't have a marketing idea, or the chef doesn't have a marketing idea. But ultimately, someone's got to pull the trigger.
I think, one of my mentors has been Michael Mack. One of the things he taught me was that there is different ways of coming to a decision, whether it was consensus or directive, and being able to use those different ways based on the situation was totally fine.
I'll tell you another great thing that I learned early on. It's called robust dialogue. It means we're going to argue. I want you to openly disagree with me. We're going to come to a consensus by people taking sides. If you just here it is, especially if it's coming from the boss, you're never going to get good feedback. All the good ideas come from the store level, or very few ideas come from me that are going to be earth-changing.
We have an approach which we call the collective approach, which is the whole is greater than the sum of its parts.
Absolutely.
I don't ever look at it like I need to have the idea. My main job, and I think you look at it this way as well, is just to bring the best ideas to the table.
And your team needs to know you're open to those ideas, or they'll stop bringing them.